fast life, the fast living. They see the ambition, they know I'm past driven. Look, we are not the same, this is not a game. I be swerving through the city in and out of lanes. Yeah, cause if I see it, then I want it, then you better know I got it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And today we are back to discuss BMF. This is season 2, episode 5, and it was titled Moment of Truth. But before we even get started, please make sure you click that subscribe button down there in the corner so that you can follow us and support our content and help it reach a wider audience. So we appreciate the love and support. Also like the video.
Yeah.
But wow, so let's get into the conversation. We are already mid-season.
Where do we begin?
I mean, it flew by, and this was a good one. You know, I got a feeling that our who can get the hands list is going to be very long.
Oh yeah, and
we
had the people we had reserved. The one person we had reserved for the hands list, we called it right. He deserved to be on the hands list. You have to get your graphic together this week, Ron. Remember how we used to do season 1?
I think he gets the coffin. This, I mean, this right here. You don't come back from this usually.
Well, look, we gonna get to him in a second.
All right.
Okay. Let's talk about what's going on with Meech and Terry, because we know that they hit the road last week and they were headed to Atlanta. That it's a drought, so obviously nobody has drugs, and they only got $15K on them, which is really not much at all. Consider everybody is hiking up their price, you know. So we know all about that in this inflationary environment that we in right now. So they are trying to find some drugs, and with the last little bit of money that they do have, they trying to figure out how to make it stretch as far as possible. And Terry, man, he keeps like taking L's, man. It seemed like last week Terry had some good ideas that didn't turn out quite right. This week he tried to flip the money. That didn't go quite well either, because old boy Earl that they first meet up, who they thinking is going to help them, actually end up lining them up. So we got introduced to Goldie, Monique, you know, finally getting to see her character. Very happy to see her on screen. She did a phenomenal job. But, you know, her character, she's shady, you know, got them out the way and took what little bit of money they did have. So then they move on. They're trying to figure out, well, what's the next plan? Because obviously they still need to re-up. And in the background, they had Monique go and talk to Denise. And they're like, you need to try to make sure she accepts our offer. But meanwhile, they don't even have money to give to her. So I'm like, they better do something quick, because like Meech said, if they don't, they gonna be SOL.
Yeah.
But you know, Terry was taking L's at first when he first got to Goldie, but when he got a chance to get into that other game, he was on he was on a roll when they got fat mics. So he was able to clean up there.
It was looking bad though for a second, because I'm sorry, Goldie warned them that Mike was no nonsense.
Yeah, because
and they went up in there with them loaded dice.
And Fat Mike wanted to end it all. You know, it's funny, the two of them, I like them together, but like you said, I mean, I think Terry just needs to take a step back. He said he's going to come back, but now he has to play his position, or whatever his role is. He's got to settle in on it, because you know, you only have 15 grand and you're going to bet 750. That just, nowhere does that make sense.
7,500.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, it nowhere does that make sense to me when you got what you have. You know, now it all works out for them, and I don't know if they got an angel. They must have an angel somewhere working for them, because
he was confident in his skills. He was like, I'm Southwest all day.
Well, yeah, but they also learn how to cook. So, you know, and that's going to do them.
Yes. Yeah. So that's worth well.
Right. That's worth the price right there.
And I think that's why Meech made him give up his car. Like,
exactly.
you got us in this mess gambling. Now you gonna pay.
Yep.
Hand over the pink slip.
Sign it over.
But it was good though that they got to have that experience because they were in a tight spot. And I think Terry even said as much, being in an uncomfortable position forced him to step outside of his comfort zone and to really, step into who he is. Like, I feel like they work extremely well under pressure.
They do.
Yeah. And so it just like Terry said it, he always wanted to be in the game. And there was no other way for it to go for him. I think he did his best to try to walk the straight and narrow, but ultimately that fast life was calling his name the whole time.
Yeah, he said
so he and Meech are back.
Yeah, he said he always wanted to be in the game. He said I was always in the game, but I took a step back. No, Terry. You left out, shut the door behind you. You were done. But I like that. But after that first situation that he was at the airport and didn't know and mistreated a client, you can kind of tell that this is not his bag. So I didn't expect it to last but so long.
I mean, that fast money.
Yeah, like fast money. That's what he's used to.
Well, he was also a boss.
Mm-hmm.
In the while they are bosses because they own the car company and stuff, but they're driving other people around. And then in that type of business, when you have a service business, the customer is always right and things like that. He can call the shots.
Well, can he? I mean, because I feel like him coming back to BMF, it's about to go down next week between him and B Mickey, because it's like you said you was done. Meech allowed me to be number 2, and now you come back, and all of a sudden I'm back in the background again. So I just feel like it's going to come to a head between those two.
Of course, but at the same time, he is still Meech's brother. So as close as Meech and B Mick is.
Family first.
Family first.
But for some reason, B Mick doesn't see it that way, and I'm really on the edge of my seat trying to think. Once he finds out that Terry is back for good, is he going to do something stupid? I mean, like really stupid?
It seems like he's getting tired of being used too, especially with the way that he was responding to Detective Bryant.
Right.
And Bryant wasn't there to get information from him this week. He was asking for him to go and beat up Kevin's bully. But it seemed like he was like frustrated with the fact that he's kind of like everybody's, do me a favor guy.
Right. Yeah. But that might not have been too bad a situation for him though. He did a solid for Detective Bryant. And maybe now the good old detective will kind of lay back on him, because after all, B Mick wouldn't know who the guy was unless Detective Bryant told him. So Detective he keeps putting his foot in it. And so now who knows? Maybe B Mick can breathe a little bit.
No, he can't. But I feel like but I feel like I'm glad he did do that. I'd rather him do that than snitch. Yeah, and at the same time, I felt sorry for Kevin, because the school wasn't gonna do nothing. He wasn't gonna snitch, I wasn't mad at that move by B Mick because Kevin needed some help.
He did need help.
That was a good old fashioned ass whooping that boy had coming to him, and I loved every minute of it.
He literally got the hands. We didn't have to put him on the list.
Exactly. So yeah, but I do want to see how things go, between Terry and B Mick. But on the ATL side, it looked like they have some very fruitful relationships with Ty. And then of course once they talk to Pint, and like you said, Ron, he taught Terry a new skill, how to take one pack and turn it into 2. Man. And so now that they have that new skill set, and he made it clear, like, we not trying to compete with you. We not staying here in Atlanta. We taking this back to Detroit.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like that'll help him out in what he's trying to do in his other businesses. But I wonder if that might not come back to bite them, because he said he wasn't going to be in the area to compete, but he is going nationwide. So he's gonna have to teach some of his people in other areas. So I was like, I wonder if that might not become a problem later on, that he putting other people on.
But he told Ty that eventually that was the plan. You know, I think they know that they plan to branch out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
a lot of people underestimate those two, because you know, if what's his name, the cook, what was his name?
Pint.
Pint. I wanted to call him Pink, but if Pint, I'm not.
Please don't.
I'm not. Just sorry. But anyway, you know, if Pint had thought about it long enough, he was right when he said the fewer people that know what he does, the better it is for him. You know, because hey, you know, news travels, and just like you said, eventually we all know what happens with BMF. So he would have been better off just not showing him anything. But hey, time will
tell, right? Yeah.
I think he probably did them a solid because they were cool with Ty. And then he also said the fact that they came through with the dice game against that guy Fat Mike. Apparently Fat Mike is supposed to be notorious. So he was like, dang, y'all did Mike like that, so y'all must be cool. So I think,
and sorry, Tiff, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I think a lot of people are impressed with them and how they proved themselves, because they kind of initially, you know, Goldie was looking at them sideways, like, oh, y'all just some young boys, y'all out of towners, get out of here, or whatever. But then once they rolled back up on her and they was like, we'll give you a cut, I think that she was impressed, especially when Terry proved that he really could roll with, you know, unweighted dice. So like, I think that she was impressed with them, and then the impression that he had on Ty and on Pint too. So it's like, they're very charismatic, and they, like I said, act well under pressure. I think people are impressed with them, and they're very endearing too. Like, they know how to talk to you, they know how to work things out. So this episode just proved that even more.
Well, one of the things about BMF, they were big on taking care of people, because even the way they came at Goldie was cool. Like when they said, well, you take us to the dice game, you know, once we get our money back, we're gonna break you off too. So they always believed in looking out for other people. And I think that's what also endeared people to them. It's not like they just trying to, you know, like state property, get down and lay down.
Right.
They're like, you know, come on board, we take care of you, we're gonna all get this money together.
Well, everybody seems drawn to them except one person.
Yeah,
Lamar.
He's a hater.
Lamar. I mean,
he took it to the next level this week, rolling up on moms.
Look,
now that he
right there.
For that.
I don't look, if Lamar lasts the season, I would be extremely surprised. I mean, you clip me, okay. Not okay, but yeah, I got you. But you go knock on my mom's door and you threaten my mom's, all bets off now, bro. I mean, it's
Lucille got.
That was quick thinking for Lucille. That was quick thinking.
Oh, I'm telling you
that's Holy Spirit and God.
No, that's right.
She has some covering over her. God is a hero of prayers, and right. He showed out.
God opened up and said, let me speak through you.
Yes.
But when Terry and Meech got that call, you know it's on and popping next week. You could tell as much from the previews for next week. They are not going to take that lightly.
And see, now that troubles me too, because they got this red car, they got drugs. And when you get a call like that, you're not doing the speed limit. And you know, Georgia State Police, particularly back then, were some of the most notorious state troopers that you ever wanted to meet. So I'm gonna tell you, if you're gonna run through Georgia at 80, 90 miles an hour, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
Listen, I wonder what happened to Hoop and them, because Hoop and them was supposed to be guarding the house. They said that before they even left town. He said, I got Hoop and my boys covering the house. Where were they?
Not on duty, apparently.
They get the hands too. They get the hands for leaving leaving their house unprotected.
Right.
Had one job.
Well, they had, I don't know what was the time span between she coming back from the church revival.
I think it was like a weekend thing, or like a 2-day thing or something, maybe 1 or 2 nights.
Yeah, I'm saying, what was the time frame between she getting back and Lamar showing up? Because maybe that's why
have been the next evening.
Be there, period.
Maybe that's why Hoop wasn't there, because they were gone.
Right.
Was supposed to be there. How he just walk up to the door and knock on the door? Hoop and the crew get the hands. That should have never happened.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I got a feeling, like I said, it's gonna be popping next week.
Yes.
But while we are talking about Miss Lucille, she said that she was going to try to go on the church retreat. She felt like her soul needs some refreshing. And Charles decides to, stay back at home. Lucille actually did get a chance to confront one of the ladies from church. And, the woman told her that she was not sleeping around with Charles. And I think Lucille felt bad the whole time. She had the wrong one. Now, Miss Mabel is definitely on my who can get the hands list, because she is relentless. Yes. Like, as soon as I seen that, Lucille had gone on a church retreat, I'm expecting Charles to be laying back at home. Soon as that scene switched, he back over there fixing stuff. I said, oh, hell no, Charles.
Charles knew what he was doing. The moment that, girlfriend left, he knew what he was doing. I don't know if he thought he was going to go that far, but I know he wanted to spend some time with her.
He was putting himself in the devil's playground. That woman is flirting with you like that.
Listen, he rejected the spiritual retreat. If anybody needs some spiritual cleansing, it was Charles.
Right.
So he rejected that to go over there and fix her house, literally. The literal house and the other house. And you two stepping and bumping and grinding at the party.
And letting women pinch on his butt cheeks.
Yeah.
He didn't even check her.
Hey, look, he was in the zone. He wasn't checking nothing.
Listen, we don't just need to give Charles the hands. He need to get stomped out.
He's got the coffin. He's got the coffin.
When I seen him, he seemed like he was getting ready to head out, but he gave into temptation. The Florida Evans in me came out, and I said, damn, Charles. You did it. I was rooting for you.
For a moment there, I thought he was going to go home and say something to his wife, but then I thought about it. I said, no, he's going to keep that to himself.
Yeah, and he chuckled when he
was proud of himself now.
He chuckled, and then for her to come home and stuff, and then she was all humble and everything, and trying to make up with him. And so 2 women in one night, and
double dipping.
So he definitely is getting the hands for that.
Charles get the hands, he get the foot,
the feet.
Oh my gosh. He can get the baseball bat.
I was watching an episode with my son and his friend, and when Charles cheated with Mabel, my son's friend was like, Charles! She was scratching the pearls. It was hilarious.
Right. I mean, we all seen it coming, but we was just hoping that he would be swayed by the spirit or something. I don't know.
He was swayed by the spirit. Just
the wrong one. Spirit.
He took that spirit to heart. He was swayed.
Yes, he did. And I'm thinking that Lucille is obviously going to find out eventually. Number one, because it's somebody in the church, and church gossip travels fast. So somebody's going to figure it out.
Mabel's not in the church. Mabel's just a neighbor.
Okay, I thought Mabel was also attended the church.
No.
Oh, but see, my theory is Mabel gonna come knocking on that door.
You think?
Yeah. She's bold. She's bold.
Yeah, and not only that, she's
trifling. She need to get some hands. For real.
She's a straight up homewrecker. So so she's gonna, she's gonna come knocking on that door, and she's gonna start she's either gonna drop hints, or she's just gonna come straight out with it.
Oh shoot!
I don't think she's gonna tell her. I think she's gonna just be bold and flirting with Charles.
Because
because she just
or either Charles gonna give himself away because he was already acting guilty. He was kind of like, you could see when he was going home, like before they had their little intimate moment, he was in there kind of like washing dishes and he was contemplating to himself. You could tell he was thinking real hard and he looked remorseful the way he ran out of there, like he jetted. So I think his conscience is really going to bother him, and his behaviors might change to the point where she really notices something different.
Listen, and women have intuition too. So even if they don't have confirmation at the moment, like we know when something's off. Like even the little sex scene with Miss Lucille and Charles looked like you know, like he was not himself, and it seemed like he could sense that, like the look on her face. I don't know.
It wasn't a look of satisfaction.
No, it was not. It was not.
I mean, part of it was like, yeah, we finally did it, but the other part is, dude rolls over rather quickly, turns his head, and any woman I know, once they see you do that, they asking questions.
Yeah. He lasts but a minute. He didn't even. There was hardly no foreplay. I mean, he didn't give it a foreplay and stuff. And it already been a minute since they had any action. And I was like, so she already know what's up. She just don't know who.
Right. It's only a matter of time.
Look, we got to give it to him though. You know, he hit it. He had 2 hits, 2 home runs. What can I say?
He need to get hit.
He do.
For that.
Charles get the hands. Mabel get the hands.
Mabel get the hands.
Yes, those 2 for sure. We added Lamar already.
Yeah. Hoop and them get the hands too for not guarding that house. I'm upset about that.
And I'm even willing to give Earl the hands for setting Terry and Meech up with Goldie at first, getting their money taken.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think like you and Tiffany, you've always said this. They're young and they make mistakes. And I think the biggest mistakes they continue to make is they go from city to city thinking that, you know, because of who they are, they can just roll up on folk and think that everybody's going to be accepting. And, you know, they need to really just step back and kind of, you know, read the room. Because
that's the sentiment, because I feel like they do have connects in every spot that they've gone to thus far.
But I wouldn't have gone
in Ohio.
I wouldn't have gone up in the Goldie. But see, when they went up to, you know, to roll the dice with Goldie, it was just some of the comments that Goldie made and the looks that she was giving to the what do you call the guy that was handling the
that was handling the dice game and stuff.
Yeah, was handling that. It's those
like
looks.
She was playing them.
Read the room. Yeah, you got to read the room and see if this is, you know, now if you want to give a few $100s, a couple $100s or whatever, see what's going on. But you know, you don't throw down $7,500 like you know what's going on. You know.
Well, that's what Meech said too. Meech was pissed.
I think they were really trusting in Earl, because Meech had done Earl a solid when they were in Vegas by taking the drugs back, you know, and making sure that got done. And so he was hoping that once he came to Atlanta that Earl will return the favor, but he did the opposite. So
do you think that Earl didn't know that Goldie would do that? Because they just said point us to where the dice game is.
I think he did though, because if you had his face when they got taken like that, you know, he had that little smirk on his face as if he knew that that's what was, you know, you know what kind of shock you in.
Right. No, it looked like a setup to me.
It was right. They do that all the time. And so Earl knew. So he knew.
Right. So I enjoyed this week's episode. I definitely was like yelling at the TV for a lot of the scenes. So it was a good one.
Well, let me ask you, and I'm going to ask you both. Is there any redeemable quality in Charles?
I mean, of course, he made a mistake. And I think, like I said, that he feels remorseful. But, you know, I think Charles has to humble himself and really try to go to his wife, be honest, and try to figure out where they go from here. But continuing down the path that they on with all this friction in the household, that ain't helping nobody.
Do you think he should tell her?
Look, I think he should, but I know he won't.
You carry that bad boy.
Right. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about Charles, and it just goes to show that we all imperfect and things can happen, they can overcome or whatever.
Sure.
But the way he was so hard on there it goes, Meech and Terry,
Right.
you know, that's being self-righteous.
Yes.
Right. It is.
And he was tripping. I mean, now he's falling short.
Right. But you carry that to your grave and straighten your ass up.
Well, that too. He just better hope Mabel don't keep cutting up and showing up
Like
y'all think.
Think gonna stop? That's the thing. Because once you get a taste, it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling she's the type that would try to maybe throw it in Lucille's face or say some kind of little slick remark or something like that. I don't know. That was a bad move.
Yeah, that little look she had after that minute and a half with Charles, and she kind of turned around and she had this look on her face like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Charles, you met the devil himself.
Yeah, he stepped in it.
Now, we didn't really talk much about Lamar and Mo. Now, Mo said she was done with Lamar completely. He still feels like, he wants to get back with her. She let him know there's no chance of that. But, his conversation with Alvin suggested that he's not really going to be happy and satisfied with his role, running the neighborhood and being, back on top unless he has his queen there beside him.
It was funny seeing him with all them chains on his neck like Mr. T.
Look, and the way he was like
chains.
The way he was steamrolling the whole neighborhood, I'm like, he's worse than Debo.
That's what I said, he's Debo.
Yeah. So was that Mo that
was a paralegal that came in there and talked to Denise?
Yeah. Okay. I had to give her some props on that.
Yeah, she works at a law firm.
Yeah, I had to give her props on that because she threw down,
Oh, she's pretty sharp. The only thing is that the her messing with the coke and stuff, like that. So I think what she gonna try to do, because she was talking to Meech, on the phone when they, how they were talking in code and stuff. I think that she gonna call herself trying to woo Lamar and everything, and thinking that she can get rid of him, which I think would be a mistake because he's dangerous. He's dangerously stable. He is unstable, and he almost killed her last time. Yeah. So I was like, she is. I think she should just allow Meech and them to handle it, but I don't think she's gonna do that.
Yeah.
He's
and what was that, Ron?
No, I said he's too cunning for her. He'll see her coming a mile away.
Yeah, I mean, he's crazy, but he's not stupid.
Exactly. Yeah, and I was actually really happy that Denise took the deal, because it was kind of shaky the way Detective Bryant was playing it up, like you could never get out of jail. You could be in there your whole life, blah blah. But she actually did hold it down, which I was shocked. So, ultimately, I think she figured that it's better for me to be locked away if I have to go away and have my son's future paid for versus me being, back out free and struggling and maybe not even send my son or to school or give him a better life.
But you can't trust what they tell you, man. They because for one thing,
that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, you don't think that that a white person gonna hold it down for you like that, and I know that's why Meech and Terry were really scared.
Yeah, because I mean, the police will tell you what kind of deal they think they can get you, but that's all up to the judge and the jury. Yeah. So
listen. In that case, the only white person that I would think that would slide and ride for me is Tommy from Howard.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You're the only one I think can be solid.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see if Denise actually holds up and whether they actually, get the money that they need to continue to pay her off. So we'll see. This was a good one. I really enjoyed it. You guys got anything else you want to add before we close out?
I was gonna say I enjoyed them going to Atlanta, going to the HBCU, and going to the game, battle the bands, all of that good stuff. So I enjoy seeing that in the show too. Atlanta's like a second home to me. So
They was even up in the strip club. Now for a second I thought Charles had head to the strip club as soon as Lucille left. I was about to say, oh, you really on the hands list.
Give him time. Give him time.
Look, from my vantage point, he'd have been better off at the strip club. Because see, that's hands off. You can throw the money, but you can't put your hands on them. So I'd have been better off at the strip club.
Right.
Both of them are on the hands. They need those raffles. And look, one of the subscribers said last week, he said, where the hell is Ron? So Ron is back. Subscribe, Ron.
I'm back. Yeah, I read that. I was like, "Hey, bro, I'm coming. I'm coming."
Yes. So glad to have you back. I really enjoyed our discussion today. I want to thank all the viewers for watching. Please make sure you drop down in that comment section and give us your thoughts about this episode as well as your predictions for next week. Also, make sure you are subscribed to our channel and you like the video so that we can continue to grow, like I said before, and click that notification bell because you never know who we might have on the show. So you're not going to want to miss out. We are also on all social media platforms at The Spot Real Talk. So make sure you give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. We're everywhere. So follow us and keep up with all that we have going on. And if you guys don't have anything else to add, I think we will call it a night.
Good night.
So until next time.
Bye.
See you later.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
I'm not catching fades anymore. Gotta keep my hands clean when they come for the ball. Keep it smooth like a dawn, making moves in the dark. Cause I learned how to swim in the pool full of sharks. Now they cautious, cause they can't read all his motions. How the kid never switch codes, but he code switch focus. Staring down your team with a frozen ice cold.